Today's episode is about 2.5 years of actual solar production results and what I've learned about prepping for a grid down situation and how that's going to change based on time of the year. I also hate long YouTube introductions, so let's jump into it. All right, let me set the stage. I live in Northern California. I have a 7 kilowatt panel system. I got one Powerwall system, was put in June 2018. Daily consumption with 2 teens and 2 adults is 4.5 kilowatt hours per day. Gets us bare survival, 1 fridge, 1 light per room, 6 iOS devices so we don't kill each other, and the network is running. 9 kilowatt hours a day gets us some comforts, the toaster oven, the NAS, so I can run my Plex media server, so I have all my movies and TV shows, and we can watch on the TVs, but not for hours on end. 20 kilowatt hours a day is what I'd call normal, but there is no dryer in that run. Each dryer run could take 3 kilowatt hours, so some days we don't do any laundry. Some days that thing doesn't stop running. I found those numbers out using a combination of the Tesla mobile app and a Brawl Tech GEM electric monitoring system. I will show you screenshots of what each of those are. I do not currently own an electric car, and finally, my goal was to size the system so that when there's an earthquake or fire and the grid goes down, we don't have to hunt down ice for the fridge, we don't have to wait in line for gas, for a generator. Those things are wicked noisy anyhow. I just want to have everything be nice and calm. One quick definition for y'all. Energy usage is measured in kilowatt hours. So like the 10 watt light bulb, the LED light bulb you all probably have, you get 10 of those, it runs for an hour. That's 100 watt hours or 0.1 kilowatt hours. All right, the 3 slides I'm going to walk you through next are first a summary of all the facts and then some opinions. I'm going to show you the daily graph because this is where grid readiness really relies. And then I'm going to show you a monthly view. I'm going to put the timestamps on the top left here so you can skip to whichever section you want to watch. All right, so here's the punchline. The system is underproducing by 15 to 20%. Tesla projected 9,464 kilowatt hours per year. Take a look at the right-hand side here. The 12-month rolling total never goes beyond 8,100. I did have 11 days of no data in March of 2020, so it's throwing off all the calculations. The year before was 70 kilowatt hours. But you'll see here, even if I added those in, these numbers are still low. I'm also I'm noticing here this 12-month rolling total is showing degradation. I am going to monitor that. The panels are hosed off on a regular basis. I haven't used soap or a squeegee because supposedly that's not needed according to every website ever. But I'm going to take a look and see what I can do here. How long could we run off grid without needing the Powerwall? Well, in 963 days, the Powerwall has produced more than 4.5 kilowatt hours 95% of the time, which is bare survival. More than the 9 kilowatt hours 87% of the time, and then more than the 26 kilowatt hours 38% of the time. In 31 months, this isn't bad. There's only been one day where the solar and Powerwall would have run out. That means no solar was getting produced, and my 13 kilowatt hour Powerwall would have just gotten drained even in this 4.5 kilowatt hour bare survival mode. Those are the facts. Now here's my opinion. This system barely achieves the goal of handling the grid down given this 20% underproduction. Second Powerwall, I wish I should have gotten it. The Tesla person talked me out of it, actually. Would have allowed some comforts in the rainy season, and a 9 kilowatt panel system, which I was torn between the 7 and the 9, would have allowed for a bigger buffer. I should have just gone with a bigger one. Second opinion, I am grateful I have a natural gas stove. I actually heard that California and several other states are stopping natural gas. Obviously around here it's because there's earthquakes, right? And it just generates lots of downstream issues. But it is pretty efficient, and heat for cooking energy for cooking is just destroy you. So I am going to buy a portable grill for cooking, and I'm going to get a whole cord of fireplace logs for the earthquake kit if those gas lines go down. Third thing here is I need to automate the TV, stereo, etc. shut down if the grid drops. Everything's already on Z-Wave. I have Haas, home automation system something. I don't know. So that should be easy enough to do where I hit a button and everything drops. Finally, I do need to conserve a whole lot more. It's going to be a pain in the ass to add more panels to this thing, but conservation is going to be my ticket out of this thing. And I'm going to walk you through the Brawl Tech in the next video. I will show you one screenshot here. Okay, so a lot of you guys, this might be the money slide. This is the actual production results according to the Tesla app which is real nice. Lets you download actual production values for 31 straight months. Like I said, you will notice there is a declining max. I don't really know why that is, but take a look here at those tiers. Remember I told you about 4.5, 9, and 26. So you see here, right, what is this here? This is like June to September, right? And then the following March to October, right? If the grid goes down in this time frame, I don't really care because the system's producing a ton of power, right? The next ballpark then, for when does it produce less than 9? So if it's in this ballpark, above here, 87% of the time we'll be able to have some creature comforts. I'll turn most of them off though, right? Really the area to be concerned about is when you're producing less than 4.5 kilowatt hours per day. And for me, that is only 5% of the time. Again, this is a 7 kilowatt system. There is that one instance I told you about where there was 3 straight days of just ridiculous cloudiness where I produced, I think, between like 0 and 1 kilowatt hour, right? And that would have drained the power wall even in bare survival mode. That's not too bad, right? We can figure something out. And then this is the 11 days of no data that is going to throw off that next graph. The grid has gone down a couple of times. We had PG&E with rolling blackouts. But again, I'm going to have another video dedicated just to handling a grid down situation. And last and least is the monthly view. I don't really think this view is that useful, although everybody else is asking me questions, so I'll include this on here. For us, our personal line is ballpark of 770 kilowatt hours per month. Produce more than that, we send energy to PG&E. Lower than that, we pull energy from PG&E. And on average, I think every year, our true up is, because of the underproduction, we're running about 2 kilowatt hours lower on an annual basis. And again, where I think that has to go is with energy conservation is what we have no choice but to do. Let me show you what those things look like. All right, so going into the Tesla app here, you'll see here the Tesla Powerwall is at 100%. So what that means is the solar is, as of this second time, generating 4.7 kilowatts. The house is, I don't think anybody's home, is using 600 watts of power. So the rest of the energy is going back to the grid. This tells you your consumption. If you want to take a look at your production, you can see that in the same app here. And they do a pretty nice job. And you can go back like a year in here, right? And you can take a look at it by day, by month as well. Why is it not showing up? There we go. There's January. Oh, there we go. There's February. So you can see here what you produce, and you'll see even at the highest, we're talking, under 20 kilowatt hours in February, whereas in June, this is like 35, 40 sometimes. But this consumption and production is not going to be nearly enough to do any conservation. For that, let's go take a look at the Brawl Tech. And if you want a little bit more granular information than that, and I'm going to have a whole video dedicated just to this, I put in the Brawl Tech Green Eye monitor, which then this is just a Google image here. You put these little current transformers inside your electric panel, and then you can take a look at a circuit level, how much is each circuit taking at that instant, as well as, and I'm still learning how to use this, so I apologize for the ugly graphs. It tells you, how much total kilowatt hours have any given circuits taken, so you can figure out where you need to optimize your conservation. Obviously, server wall is my runaway consumer. So what I did was I also plotted this graph of, hey, what's happening when, and I can take a look at that. That's all I have for you today. If you have any questions, shoot me a note in the comments. Thanks.